This video will cover the back squat, overhead squat, deadlift, and Romanian deadlift. The purpose of the back squat is to bilaterally produce force through hip and knee extension, with the prime movers being the quads and the glutes. The hamstrings and adductors are the synergists, and the stabilizers can include the erector spinae, rectus abdominis, obliques, and those all contribute to the stability of the trunk. Some of the most common errors include the knee collapsing inwards, which is valgus, which shows a weak gluteus medius. This can be fixed with cueing the knees driving out, following in line with the toes. Lifting of the heels can show that there's limited dorsiflexion abilities, so one could elevate the heels, or over time, for a more long-term solution, could do stretches for the gastrocnemius and soleus. The overhead squat is the most demanding of stabilizers, so there's not really a specific prime mover. And the main purpose is training the full kinetic chain, mobility, stability, and coordination while having a load overhead. The most common errors are that the bar drifts forward due to tight lats, so the solution to this would be widening the grip and widening the stance if needed, as shown in the video. I had to do that. Another regression, if those present and if the heels also lift, is using a split stance. This reduces the demand of the stabilizers. The deadlift works on using the posterior chain to transfer energy, and the main joint action is hip extension. Prime movers include the glute max, which aids in hip extension, along with the hamstrings, with the synergists being the adductors and quads. The feet should be placed under the shoulders, and the shins should be next to the bar when starting, ensuring retraction of the scapula, bracing the core and chest being forward before lifting and throughout the movement. The most common errors can include rounding of the back, which you should fix by cueing the squeezing of your core and your chest being forward, alongside retraction of the scapula to ensure that there is a straight back at the start. The pull should not be using the back, but should be through hip extension. A good regression can be trap bar deadlifts. The Romanian deadlift, or the RDL, prime movers are the glute max and the hamstrings. The RDL is great for training those muscles eccentrically. The synergists are the adductors and erector spinae, and the feet should be placed underneath the hips while the neutral back and spine is maintained. The most common error is too much knee flexion rather than the hip flexion that occurs, commonly referred to as a hip hinge. This can be cued by telling the person to basically sit back or push their butt backwards and pulling up as if you are shaving your legs or picking up a bag of groceries. The bottom pause should be at the hamstring stretch portion, not at the floor, and some regressions could include a single leg RDL or a banded RDL, which reduces the load.